You are now listening to the Vitalize podcast. Hey yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, also known as Mr. B. Cause you can, and I'm super excited to be in a building, man. I'm excited to see y'all today. I hope you're doing incredibly well. Somebody's like, how can you see me? What you mean see me? Well, I can see some of y'all, especially the ones that's over here rocking with me on Chatter Social. The rest of y'all, I've been telling y'all, if you ain't been here, I don't know where you at. Maybe you asleep at the wheel and it's time for you to wake up, because this is the latest, greatest craze, and we out here making it do what it do because we can. So, and some of y'all is like, who is this dude? If you new to me, then you gonna learn today, man. We on 10 now. Everybody wanna be my friend now. On that, shout out to Lil Russell, man. But I'm big energy, big juice, all day, all gas, all positivity, man. So if you like inspiration, motivation, and affirmation, then I might be for you. But if you don't, then I might not be for you, and that's okay too. I always say, if I'm not your cup of tea, go drink some coffee, fam. Straight like that. And that's okay, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be for who you're gonna be for, but I like to have a good time, man. So I wanna say, get this out the way, exchange a little pleasantries. If you're here for the very first time, welcome. But ain't no such thing as a second time guest in this community. So if you rocking with the guy, then I'm rocking with you, and welcome back. You family now, so anytime you pull up, sit back, relax, man. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet, and we're gonna have a good time because we can. So, hey man, whoo. I have to pause for the cause and just tell you, man, y'all been seeing me running all over the world with my Because You Can shirts on and my merchandise, man. I ain't gonna lie, they real silky smooth, you know what I'm saying? 100% ring spun, pre-shrunk, soft cotton, so they don't shrink on you, they don't shrivel on you. And that's a testament to my guy, Cam, man. Shout out to Cam from Cam's Custom Print Shop, man. Cam is incredible, and Cam does silk screening and designs here in Oklahoma City, and Cam is that dude. This episode is sponsored by Cam's Silk Screening and Designs. Cam's Print Shop is the man, the myth, the legend himself, and he can ship everywhere. So if you want to get you some 100% pre-shrunk, ring spun, and he really has an old school screen printing where he paints on the logos onto the shirts, and then he heat dries them into the fabric so they last forever. And I've been rocking with Cam since I first started making merch, and I probably will never switch just because he's taking great care of me. Small business, he's an incredible human. He also was a recording artist signed, and so he got a voice of an angel. But Cam is really that dude, and so if you want to talk to me about it, you know what I'm saying? We could set something up. You could tell him I sent you, and he'll take care of you, man, if you want to do that type of screen printing. And yeah, he got some of the best minimums in the game. I'm telling you, like, this dude is taking care of me, and I say that from my heart. So it was an honor when we talked about a collab and him sponsoring the show. So I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you. And I can't wait to continue sending these Because You Can shirts all over the world. So that to say, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. So what I want to do is talk to you about something that I've been going on. So I know, man, we just celebrated a few weeks ago the man, the myth, the legend's birthday, Mr. Nipsey Hussle. May he rest, man. May he rest. And many of you who know me, who've been around for a while, know how much he means to me. Y'all know how much I adore the human being that he was, the heart that he possessed, the resilience, the character, what he was able to overcome, the struggle in order to become who he was meant to become. That is a testament to life for all of us, because people can pretend and they can act like it's all good when it ain't. But at the end of the day, it ain't. This ain't that. And so everybody who ever did something of value in the world didn't get there by chance, and they didn't get there with sunshine and rainbows and fairy tales. They got there with a lot of pain. They got there with trauma. They got there through adversity. They got there through incredible resilience to go and show up and become what they were meant to become. That's how they got there, fam. And I think about my own life, and it's no different, man. I ain't where I'm gonna be. I ain't where I wanna be, but I ain't where I used to be. And where I am is pretty darn great, if I must say so. If I do say so myself, we doing all right. And I'm grateful to be where I am, and I'm grateful to have done what I have been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time, because I ain't been doing this forever. But I really wanna speak to you. My brother Stevie Nunez said, this is dope. Hey, man, it is dope. It's cool that I can read people's comments while I share, because I got a live audience who's watching this recording. So if you're missing out, I don't know what to tell you. Shout out to you for, you know what I'm saying? not being here, but you should be here, man, because I know you want to. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you listen to this on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your shows, man, pull up on me and holler at the guy, right? So I want to really share with you all about my journey, right? So I bring up Nipsey Hussle, and I bring up who he is, and I bring up what he stood for and what he meant to me, because to me, he was the person who was in my ear teaching me how to believe in myself. He was the one in my ear teaching me that I had something to say. Yeah, I don't have a platform, but I can build a platform, and who it's gonna be for is who it's gonna be for. And so it really meant a lot to me to see somebody that looked like me that was saying things that I hadn't heard other people say. And if you listen to his interviews and you listen to the way that his brain worked and what he wanted and how the depth of thought to going and becoming an owner and really being a player in the game, making every move with intentionality, not taking any move for granted. Chess, playing chess. He talked about it all the time. We playing chess while the world is playing checkers. We care about this frivolous stuff that don't matter. I'm playing chess. And if you know anything about chess, in a game of chess, every move you make, you're making it with the thought of where you're going next. You're thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead. You're playing a scenario out and having a contingency plan for no matter where you go. And this is what he taught me. And I started moving that way. And I started moving strategic. And I started believing I got something to say. And I stopped going in meetings half-stepping. I stopped pulling up to meetings where people would like my genius and feeling like I just got to give you my genius. I got to give you the best of me and leave the rest of me just for myself, for everybody that I love most, get the rest of me. And I'm going to give these people the best of me for crumbs in exchange. And if that's you, that's what Nipsey Hussle taught me. Stop, man. What are we doing? I taught you how to charge more than what they pay for you. You know what I'm saying? And trying to teach you what it means to really have a radical self-belief in your gift and a radical self-belief in your genius, and to not question yourself when you go into places and spaces where people make you feel inferior, because you can go into places and spaces where people will make you feel inferior, but them people ain't make you and they can't break you. Them people ain't give you your purpose, and them people can't take your purpose away. They cannot. Straight like that. So this is what I'm saying. It is important for you to understand who you are and to know that. And when that started to happen for me, things started to change for me. When that started to happen to me, I started walking in rooms differently. I started to show up with my head up, and I started to show up, and I started to put it like this. What you see, this yelling, I ain't always do that. I wasn't always out here yelling at the camera, and that wasn't me, fam. Nah. I was timid. I was in every room in the corner, trying to be just a wallflower. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to offer. But I was doing the entire room a disservice by not sharing all of this. I was not sharing myself. I was not sharing. And I was not being that which I was meant to be. And some of y'all are not being that which you're meant to be. You're not being that which you're meant to be because you are not sharing your gift from that place. And so when I started doing that, things got different. My journey has been the farthest thing from easy. Some of y'all been rocking with me. Y'all know. Y'all done been on this journey with me. If you have been listening to the Vitalize podcast from season 1, you have been on this rise with me. You've seen things come and go. You've seen things go up and down, all around. You've seen the good, the bad. I've been very vulnerable and very transparent, and I share my wins and I share my losses along the way. And so I make this episode both to celebrate me, honestly, because we don't do that good enough. We don't do a good enough job of celebration of yourself. And sometimes we have that expectation of other people to celebrate us, and we get mad when they don't. I don't expect nobody to celebrate me. They don't have to do that, nor do I need that. I'm going to celebrate me because I know what I had to do and what I had to go through to get to where I am. And so understanding that, listen, this is that whole project, Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. It hit me because he goes through the journey and he tells you the story of how he came up. He tells you the story of the unmerited resilience. He tells you the story of all of the things that he had to face, and all of the setbacks, and all of the stumbling blocks, and all of the times that his life almost ended, and all of the times it almost got taken from him, but he still kept going, and he still kept pushing, and he still kept moving. And then on the beginning of the song, I'm prolific. I'm so gifted. I'm the type that's gonna go get it. No kidding. You know what I'm saying? It's like to go from that to this. I'm gonna celebrate. This is my victory lap. And so many of you who are here know that I just recently went and I stood before my university, And I just shared in front of nearly 4,000 students my story of resilience, my story of overcoming, and my story of how I'm now impacting the world. But the most beautiful part of that is when I sat in the seats that those university students sat, when I sat in that seat, when I was in that building, I struggled day in and day out. I barely graduated. Matter of fact, two dudes, the dean of students at my school, his name was Neil Arter. I sat in his room more times than I cared to sit in. When my brothers and my mother got into a car accident because we was homeless and they was having to stay out 12 hours a day because we only had one car, yeah, I tell the truth. And they was going home late at night and they was so tired, they was delirious because they had to drive out of town to lay their head because we ain't had no home. And I was away in college and my brother fell asleep at the wheel. And he woke up and they almost ran head on into a Mack truck and he spent off the road. They went into a ditch, they flipped 7 times. One of my brothers got thrown out the car and he couldn't move. He was paralyzed from the waist down. My other brother, he was just banged up real good, but he got the least of it. When my first brother got threw out the car was rolling. It almost rolled on him. It rolled right over him. It flipped over him. And my mom got scrunched in the car and it trapped her in and it cracked her skull and she was there bleeding on the brain. Yeah, like that. And I was at this school and they calling me, telling me, hey, we just want you to know before you find out on the internet, your family been in an accident. Your mama probably not gonna make it. I mean, this is my mentor. This is like a dad to me. This is my pastor calling me. And he's telling me, your mama probably not gonna make it. He's telling me, your brothers might make it. One of them is gonna make it. The other one might not, but if he does, he'll likely be paralyzed for the rest of his life. And we just want you to know it's not good. And here I am, sitting in this university, halfway across the country, feeling sick, fam. Feeling like I can't do nothing. I can't go on. I'm hurt. I'm struggling. I don't give a damn about no school right now. I don't care about these assignments. Teachers trying to ask me about this homework, bro. I'm not thinking about no homework. My people might not be here tomorrow. You talking to me about homework, fam? I struggle. The rest of that semester, I struggle. It was like it was like depression to the next level. And I was struggling, just trying to stay structured. And I was struggling in that school. In that same school, in that same place. This is when I got the call from my mama at 4 a.m., a different year, to tell me that my cousin got murdered. He's no longer here. They kicked in his door. They pistol whipped my baby cousin, knocked him unconscious, and then my cousin tried to fight them off, and they double tapped him in the heart, and he died in that house that I spent every holiday at my auntie's house. He was like a brother to me. We grew up together, and I got that call in this school, and that's a different year, and I struggled. Every year of my existence in this school, I struggled. It was difficult. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. And I went yesterday and I saw the two men. One man's name was Neil Arter. He was the dean of students, and the other man's name was Clint LaRue. He was over financial services. And because I struggled so bad those semesters, I didn't make the GPA I needed to stay in that school. And one of my teachers told him, kick him out of here. He don't deserve to be here. He don't belong here. One of my teachers said that to them. And Neil Arter fought for me, and he said, man, something about this kid. This kid has something, and I don't know what it is, but he went and he vouched for me, and I had to go before a board of advisors, and I had to present my case why they should let me stay in this school. And Neil and the financial advisor dude, they said, you know what? We're going to let him stay. And I had to do that twice. I'm telling you, this was no easy journey. I was not the poster child for what it looked like to be a student in this university. I wasn't none of that. And then I graduated from that school, and I went from one cycle of pain and trauma and drama and hell back and forth again and again and again for years trying to find my way in this world. That is why when you see me today, you think it's always been this way. When you see me today, you think I've been Mr. Motivation. That ain't been that, man. That was my life. I'm telling you, I'm speaking to you from the depths of my pain. And so you can imagine, I'm gonna take you on a journey. Last year, I've been a professional speaker for the last 5 years-ish, 6 years is when I started. So I ain't been doing this forever, but I blew up and I escalated very quickly. In that time, it literally was like the first year I did no paid speaking. I did my first speaking engagement paid. It was $200, and the rest of the year, I never got paid again. The rest of the year, everything I did was for free. It was brand building. It was brand awareness. The second year, I got paid like 4 times that whole year. But most of the year was brand building, I was paying to go to places to speak on stages so people could know who I am and hear my name and get familiar with my voice. But I had a good teacher who was showing me how to play the game and who was setting me up. And that third year, things started to change, and I started making a little bit of money. Not a lot of money, but enough to make it worth the while to keep doing what I was doing. I would do it anyway because I love it. It ain't about the money, but it started coming in. And so you fast forward through these years, it get better and better and better. And then last year, I made the most money I ever made as a speaker from me going and sharing my gift. And I felt like, man, the tide is turning and it's finally about to be up. This is different. And then I started off this year out the gate. The first almost 4 months of this year, I had a paid speaking engagement every week. This year, by June, last year I made the most money I ever made as a speaker. This year, by June, I had already eclipsed what I made all of last year in that time frame. Why am I telling you that? This is not about the money. This is to show you what is possible if you're willing to keep going, keep trusting the process, keep following the dream. So when I say victory lap and I bring in Nipsey Hussle in his name, this is where I am. This is what I feel. I resonate. Am I done? Absolutely not. I ain't done till I'm done breathing. Till I stop breathing, I'm not done, and neither are you. But I am going to pause for the cause and celebrate because I have gone and I got on the TEDx stage. And I was able to do that and add that to my resume. I got on all these stages. I'm about to go and meet some of my new friends on Chatter, and I know a lot of y'all follow me because of Trent Shelton, so I'm going to see y'all in Dallas at the event. And I'm excited to see y'all at the event, man. Y'all my people. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all will help get my message out to the world. So I can't wait to see you and be a part of the festivities. That in itself is a full circle moment. I went from somebody who respected and admired him to somebody who reached out, went to an event, to him becoming my coach, to him becoming my brother, to him becoming my friend, to me now being a part of his biggest show ever. I need a lady in here so she can say victory lap, straight like that. Victory lap. And then full circle before I land the plane yesterday. Like I was at my university, they reached out. This is the 75th year anniversary of my university being in existence. So they decided to bring in some notable speakers to commemorate the 75 years of existence of this university. And your boy was the first speaker they called out the gate. Number one speaker they brought in. They got some powerful ones coming right after me. The next couple of days, they had incredible speakers. One of them was Sherry Cole. She coached the University of Oklahoma women's basketball team when they was going to Final Fours. I mean, she's been a coach for a long time. She's an alumni also. Shout out to you, Coach Cole. But I walked in that school, and you know what I thought when I walked in that school? I thought of every time in that school I felt like giving up. When I walked back to that school, I thought about my family having that wreck and how I wanted to fold and how I wanted to give up and just go home and say, man, forget this, bro. I can't do this. I'm sick of this. You know what I thought about when I went in there? I thought about, you know what? Man, forget this, bro. Forget all that. I thought about, man, just throwing in the towel so many times when I was in that place. I thought about when my cousin was murdered and all I wanted to do was go with him. I can keep it real with y'all, bro. I'm not finna be out here capping for the internet. I didn't feel like going on. And some of y'all think I'm positive all the time. I have conditioned myself to choose joy. I have conditioned myself to choose positivity. I have conditioned myself to choose life. But that was not always the case. That wasn't always the case for me. And so where I am now, to go back in that building and to go back in that place and to be greeted by university officials and to take me on the tour and to see all thousands of students walking in and me to just be in that vibe and to remember what it felt like to be there thinking I'll never make it. To be honest with y'all, to be there thinking I ain't never gonna get what I'm gonna get. I'm never going, I'm never growing, I'm never becoming. This is gonna be, my daddy was right. I ain't gonna be nothing, fam. I'm gonna be a bum and a failure like he told me I was. And listen, Because of that, I know that he was just struggling with his own insecurities. We since have reconciled. It's one of my biggest fans now. But at the time, this was the condition. This is what I was thinking. So to go back in that room, but to go back in a different capacity and to be introduced as a best-selling author, to be introduced as an award-winning speaker, to be introduced as a podcast host with listeners all over this world, to be introduced as somebody that's been featured in all these publications, including Forbes, to be introduced as somebody of note, to stand before you that got something to say. That was full circle moment for me, and it was a victory lap, and I'm celebrating because I can. And because I did it, man. DJ Khaled stayed down till I came up. I did it. 10 toes never changed. I did it. So from that, man, it really was incredibly blessed to be able to get back in that moment and to be able to see and to be able to experience and to be able to have that moment of joy and that moment of celebration. It really was a moment for me in time that I'll never forget and one that I'm grateful for. And so if you're listening to the sound of my voice, I share these things with you because I want you to be encouraged and I want you to be inspired. I want you to be encouraged and I want you to be inspired, right? Because at the end of the day, you got some choices to make. And what you don't get to control is the situations and the circumstances and the adversities that come and present themselves to you. You have no control over that. You have no control over lifing. You have no control over the things that are happening to and around you. You don't have control over that. I didn't have control over those things that were happening to and around me. But you have 100% control over how you respond to the things that are happening to and around you. It's on you. The choice is yours, how you respond. That is the part that is your responsibility. And so that's what I'm challenging you to do, is to respond in the greatest way because you can. I'm challenging you. When things present itself, they're not happening to you, they're happening for you. Because ultimately, there's a greater purpose for everything that happens in your life. There's a greater purpose for everything and every situation and every circumstance that you've been through. There's greater reason for the things that you go through. There's a purpose for your pain. And I had to learn that. And as a result of it, and as a result of resilience, and as a result of perseverance, and people's like, how do you do that though? How do you do that when you feel like giving up? How do you do that, right? Well, first, never suffer in silence. If you've been struggling, we've been talking about this, man, reach out to somebody. I guarantee you people would rather hear your heart. People would rather listen to you. People would rather be there for you than to deal with the absence of such a pivotal piece of the puzzle that is you. The gift that is you. You are a tremendous gift, and you matter, and you are worthy, and you need to be here. But also, it's just putting one foot in front of the other. I told y'all before, like, you can't feel your way into action, but you can act your way into feeling. You can't feel your way into action. If you go based off how you feel, you'll never get anything done, because so many days you don't feel like being productive. You don't feel like showing up for anybody else. You don't feel like showing up for yourself. You don't feel like it, and so you'll never act off of that feeling. But if you act even when you don't feel, then eventually the feeling will change. So you take action and you take action and you take action, then eventually you will be better. Justin muted, bro. So I just need you to understand that the ball is in your court, right? It's in your hands. The ball is in your court and it's in your hands. And you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility and you have a part to play. And so as you get ready to go on your merry way, ultimately we all should have a moment where we get to celebrate the fruit of our labor and the things that we've done and the way that we've shown up. We all have a responsibility to do that. We all have a responsibility to do that, to ensure that you have that moment. I want you to have that moment. That's why I share. I share because at the end of the day, I share the pain so that you can hear the pain. It's hard to share from a painful place, but I do it because I want you to understand those conditions that birthed me. I want you to understand that, listen, we all go through it. Nobody's exempt. If you think of the favorite people, the people you look up to and admire the most, ain't nobody been exempt from pain. It affects everybody. However, that is not a barrier from your greatness unless you allow it to be. And so it's putting one foot in front of the other, day in and day out. It's putting one foot in front of the other. It's trusting the process. It's sticking to the script, going forward with the plan that God has for you. It's going forward. It's moving onward. It's moving upward. It's not allowing anything outside of your control to weigh you down. It's not allowing anything anybody else got to say to stop you from moving the way you need to move. It's not allowing any external circumstances to hold and be the weight that's keeping you from flying and soaring. It's going and going and going so that you can win, because you can win. And so go do it. Take the steps, man. Every single day. What's one thing today you can do that gets you a little bit better? What's one step you need to take today that can put you towards your victory lap, that can get you closer towards, and you persevering and you overcoming and you continuing to go, because you fighting matters. And ultimately, the way you go and the reflection of you to the world becomes a testament to the goodness of God as a result of you not giving up and you continuing to go. Don't grow weary in doing good. Because in due season, you're going to reap the harvest if you don't give up. In due season, in due season, in due season. So y'all know due season is coming. So in the meantime and in between time, just keep going. Just keep stepping. Just keep moving. Just keep rising above. And you go celebrate and you go win too, because you can.